Well, thanks for sticking with us here for 13 News Now Daybreak. Our team coverage is continuing. We're going to continue to track the aftermath of this winter storm.
Yeah, we've been here since the first weather impact alert. And again, we're continuing to track these conditions and impacts all day long. You can see we have crews spread across Hampton Roads and into North Carolina as the region deals with strong winds and snowy winter-like conditions.
Okay, first of all, we're going to check with meteorologist Craig Moeller for a check on this impact alert, this forecast. Craig, this has been brewing. We've been following it. What's the latest with it?
Yeah, dangerous cold out there, guys. Single-digit wind chills and low single-digit wind chills at that. These were the storm reports that Taylor was pulling in. Just a couple miles of snow actually showing up around Norfolk. Most of that area only picking up about 2 inches or so of snow. I would like to go ahead and switch over. We're taking a look down to the south. You can see some of the heavier amounts showing up. Elizabeth City, for instance, 4 inches, but we've had reports of 5 to 7 inches. Some other areas picking up closer to 8 inches when you look at some of the other parts of the eastern sections in North Carolina. Now, if we can take Max 2, and you can see how the system is pulling away, I want to talk to you about what's happening out there. Let's take Max 2 if we can on the air, because that's where we have our show loaded up. And you can see how, again, the images are now indicating that snow pulling away from the metro. We are going to find across the area the conditions, again, improving. The skies are going to brighten. The snow continues, southern part of the Outer Banks. This stuff, again, moving away. You see how it's really decreasing down across the northern Outer Banks. It won't be much longer before Poplar Branch is done, then Southern Shores. Eventually, the last of the snow flurries will wind down around Kill Devil Hills and point south. But the winds are still howling. So areas that picked up 4, 5, 6, 7 inches or more of snow down to the south, you still have blowing snow, reducing some visibilities, and the roads are really variable in the conditions. Some roads are almost clear, and then other areas you've got some standing snow or some drifting snow in some cases. Now, the winds have been gusting in excess of 30 to 35 miles per hour in many locations. We still have had a few higher ones like Oceana at 43, a 41 mile per hour gust up at Tangier Island, and a 49 mile per hour gust down at Duck. The winds are lighter than they were earlier through the overnight, and we do still have some moderate tidal flooding. We had major tidal flooding at down at Duck Pier this morning, but most areas now experiencing minor to moderate tidal flooding. Things will be improving, and you can see those peak high tides with the one major flooding situation going on down at Duck Pier. All right, as we take a look at the temperatures right now, temps are in the teens. It is very cold. I've been outside. I may jump back out there again and report from just outside the station. But look at these wind chills. You don't have to be out long before frostbite starts to settle in. We want everybody to be super careful out there as we've got the cold temperatures. Highs today only around 26 degrees. Marta?
All right, so a perfect excuse to stay indoors. The roads are not busy this morning, and no surprise there as it is Sunday. Do want to give you live looks around the Outer Banks, the Canal Zone, Hatteras, Oregon Inlet. Our Ocracoke camera is being a little bit testy right now. It sometimes is working, sometimes is not, but the bottom line is the roads there are in really rough shape, especially NC12, and it is closed in some portions of the Outer Banks. Want to show you other areas of our region this morning. I-664, not seeing any major issues. Your interstates across Hampton Roads are going to be mostly fine. That's because they were pre-treated with brine and salt, and also with heavy traffic comes that melting. So we're looking good in terms of that this morning. And apologies, my graphics are a little bit mixed up. I do want to show you in Virginia Beach at Great Neck Road. If you're in those residential areas, you're going to see that snow cover a lot more. So continuing to watch, you can see plows moving through the area, and you can also see the wind blowing those traffic lights around. So if you are in Hampton Roads, prepare for those really windy conditions. Similar situation across the south side. Still watching a water main break in Chesapeake at Providence and Sparrow Roads. That intersection is closed near Military Highway. No estimated time for that to reopen. Otherwise, across the region, again, we're not seeing any major incidents or delays. It's just driving speeds are reduced due to those weather conditions. If you are crossing the water this morning, prepare for very windy conditions. We've seen high winds reported at the HRBT, the Monitor Merrimack, the James River Bridge, and then the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel is under a level 2 wind restrictions. You can see the vehicles allowed there listed on your screen. Back to you.
Marta, thank you. You just heard from Marta. You heard from Craig. Some of the conditions we're seeing: gusty winds, freezing temperatures, and those snowy conditions this morning. Let's start, though. We've been looking in Norfolk. We have Jordy Clark, who's been out and about with us today.
Yeah, she's been in the Weather Impact Interceptor, but it looks like she hopped out here just to check out conditions there on the roads and the ground. So, Jordy, where are you exactly there in Norfolk, and what are you seeing?
Yes, so we are on the corner of Grimes Avenue and Lakeland Drive, kind of near the Norfolk International Airport, just to kind of check in on these roads and especially the neighborhoods, because that's where we're seeing where the most of the snow has accumulated and is sticking on those roads. Because again, those main interstates, they're going to be cleared for the most part, but these secondary roads, neighborhoods, they're going to be rough. And so I will say we've only seen a few people out and about. I could actually wanted to show you just a few of these cute little paw prints that you might see. Someone definitely had to walk their dog this morning. If you know you have animals, you know that this time of year can be really, really hard for them because, you know, they have to get out, they have to go to the bathroom, but then at the same time, it is frigid cold out here. Now the winds have picked up. We've seen them throughout the morning as well. And now when they die down just a bit, it's somewhat bearable, but I tread lightly on that word because this is not fun, cold weather. My face hurts just standing out here. Once that wind hits, it's like icicles sticking to my face is what it feels like. And just coming off the sidewalk, showing you the roadways. I mean, these are what neighborhoods are looking like. These are not a great driving conditions, and especially because of those cold temperatures. I mean, you're just seeing how much that snow is going to stick and stay on these types of roads. So luckily it is a Sunday morning, so most people I would think wouldn't regularly be out as much, but definitely stay inside this morning. Hopefully, like Craig had mentioned, it will warm up just a bit later. At least the sun will come out to make it more manageable, but just take it easy this morning because again, as you can see, these just aren't great driving conditions, and we've been on the roads throughout Norfolk as well, showing you guys what it looks like, and we have run into many slushy kind of slick spots as well. So take your time, take it slow, and again, just enjoy a Sunday inside. Grab your coffee. I'm already on my second one, okay, because I wanted to make sure I could stay energized and ready for you guys, but also again, just to stay warm. That is so important. I've got about 8 layers on because I did not want to be cold standing out here today. So certainly if you have to go out for any reason today, bundle up, drive safe, and be safe because again, these conditions aren't just going to magically disappear. It's going to take some time. But for now, we're live in Norfolk. Jordy Clark, 13 News Now.
Okay,
back to you guys.
Jordy, some great tips there. We're glad that you're bundled up and that you can try to stay warm as possible. Get back in the car so that you guys can, again, be comfortable. And we're going to stay in Hampton Roads. We've got meteorologist Julie Martin, who joins us now live with the latest check on this. Okay, we're going to actually go to Layla, who has been in Dare County, and really the wind has been a major effect with you, Layla.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, guys. The wind has been such an impact over the aftermath of the storm that we saw trickle down into the Outer Banks area yesterday that some people, unfortunately, are waking up in Dare County without power, which is, you know, unfortunate, especially with these cold, frigid temperatures that we're dealing with. But don't worry, we've been seeing several service crews out here this morning combating those power lines. If you can take a look behind me, you'll see one literally right here. We've seen these crews for the past half hour or so up here just doing everything that they can to help out with these power lines. We've also been seeing crews come by and clear roadways, specifically the parking lots of our essential personnel operations like the urgent care right down the road. We've also been seeing more plows come by because you can see the snow accumulation. Don't get in trouble. Hopefully I'm not in trouble. I'm in the road actually right now. This is snow accumulation kind of seeps into the sidewalk. It doesn't even look like I'm standing, not necessarily in the middle of the street, but definitely on the perimeter of it. Now, as you can see, you see some cars driving by. Luckily, those cars were able, you know, bigger trucks, more traction in those tires. But for those low-lying cars and sedans, we've been seeing a lot of them trapped. Earlier this morning, a few hours ago, Kitty Hawk Police did exactly what they said they were going to do and responding to an influx of calls for those that are potentially stuck. Now, with this wind accumulation we're seeing, it's creating a lot of snow-nados. I'm not sure if we can turn over here or wherever you think it's best to really show the visual of how the wind gusts are creating these blizzard-like conditions. conditions. Again, I'm just want to reiterate, it's not snow falling from the sky currently at this moment. It's the wind gusts gradually picking up, not along the coast, but inland, you know, where we are right now heading down to Nags Head. That's really having this ripple effect all throughout the day. Now, I just want to remind you guys, if you're dealing with, with power outages, just to, be patient. Our crews are out here, the crews are out here responding as quickly as possible. Hopefully you guys stayed winter prepared and you have your bundled up in layers, blankets, candles. Be sure to make sure those are lit and you blow them out if you leave in unoccupied spaces, because that could cause a possible dangerous situation in your home. But know that all essential personnel are out here doing their work, doing their due diligence, and to respond to the aftermath of this storm that we're seeing play out. So be sure to stay here with us as we continue to track the aftermath of the storm, especially here in Dare County. As always, Layla Cox reporting live in the Outer Banks, 13 News Now.
And Layla, if I can, real quick, two things. One, step forward. Just get out that road if you can. We appreciate your reporting here. Appreciate it. And when we come back to you, maybe we can check on what that looks like. Some kind of truck in the background. I wonder if that's one of the Dominion trucks. They're going to be busy today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Layla, we appreciate you. We're going to stay in North Carolina. Now we have Jeremiah Beatty with the latest conditions. I believe she's in Elizabeth City.
All right, Jeremiah, what are you seeing?
Hey, so we're seeing, of course, a lot of snow accumulation out here, but one thing that stands true and strong right now are those wind gusts. It feels colder than earlier this morning when we were out here, but definitely freezing cold. Those flags right over here, you can see them just kind of waving around in the air this morning, flipping through, but very cold out here, and I believe the wind gusts are making it colder. But just to kind of show you our roadways out here in Elizabeth City, it's covered in snow. I have a car coming down the highway here, but you can kind of just see this snow is very light, powdery, and fine. It's not kicking up a lot of snow when the drivers come through, but it's very pillowy, so you definitely want to take your time. They're waving at us this morning, but you definitely want to take your time on these roadways, because even us, when we were kind of driving around the city, a lot of these roads are covered in snow, and you may feel you have traction under there, but you don't. So we actually skidded at one point and had to just take it even slower. So that's what we've kind of seen out here. Temperatures are really cold. The wind is whipping around very strong right now. So if you don't have to be out here, just look at me. We're layered up. Definitely have your gloves on, multiple socks, but still miserably cold out here. That's all I can say here, but we'll continue to keep you up to date on the latest information in Elizabeth City. Reporting live from Elizabeth City, Jeremiah Beatty, 13 News Now.
We know it's cold out there.
Listen, she said, look at me. Listen, Jeremiah, we know you're cold, but you're making it stylish, so we do appreciate your effort there. Okay?
Absolutely. All right, folks, we're going to continue this winter weather coverage in just a few minutes. We're going to go back out to North Carolina right after this.
President's Day deals all month at Southern Auto Group. More days, more deals, lots of inventory. Low APR financing available. Plus, make no payments for 3 months. Drive the savings home this President's Day. DrivingSouthern.com.
How would you like to receive $19,000 or maybe $12,000 or even $1,400? These are real checks we've written to customers in the last few weeks. I'm Glenda Craddock. Whether you're downsizing or cleaning out your jewelry box, Greenbrier Pawn can help you turn your gold, diamond, or jewelry into cash. With gold reaching record highs, now may be the best time to cash it in. The money you need is just minutes away at Greenbrier Pawn. Just Google Glenda Craddock Pawn Shops.
Hello, Holly.
Hello, Christina.
Upload Miss Robinson's case.
Processing.
Is there any new information?
The insurance offer is too low. Should I ask them for more?
You know, when they hear from the heavy hitters, they'll pay much more.
Call 250-5000. With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive,
because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-206-6803. That's 1-800-206-6803. Call now, 1-800-206-6803.
Well, the winter weather is sticking around in Hampton Roads this morning. We checked a couple of live looks in North Carolina, so now we want to head out to Virginia Beach.
And that's where we can find meteorologist Julie Martin. She is live. And Julie, I know it was windy there when we checked in with you last. How's it looking right now?
Yeah, still windy. We're gusting to around 40 and it feels like 2 degrees out here. So definitely not a good beach morning. I don't recommend it. Stay indoors today if you can. We've got this extreme cold advisory in place until around 10. And then the high wind will be with us through this afternoon until things start to back off. But did get a little bit of snow here in Virginia Beach. You can see it covering some of the grassy surfaces here. You'll notice the waves are kicking up a pretty good chop there as well. This morning, those winds have really just been so prevalent overnight as well into this morning. Some of them reaching gusts around 54 miles per hour overnight. And here at the hotel, there's actually an outdoor pool. We can't get to it right now just because it's so windy where the pool is located and the ice is over there. But my photographer is able to get a shot, and it looks sort of like the Arctic over there. The ice has piled up all outside of the pool on the patio furniture, and it's just sort of hanging off of it. It's a really weird looking scene here in Virginia Beach, but definitely some cold times. We'll stay with the cold over the next several hours, and then things will start to improve as we get into next week. But overall, could have been worse. We have power here. It's warm inside, and so we're able to get a little shelter and pop in and out as needed.
Well, we appreciate you, Julie. And yeah, she said today not a beach day. I don't think she'll see many visitors along that stretch with her today.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, for the rest of this week, we're talking some pretty cold temperatures. So let's turn now for another check on our impact alert forecast here as we manage these heavy winds and these snowy conditions. Let's see how things are shaping up.
All right, Taylor, what's the latest?
So what I'm tracking right now is the end of the snowfall here in Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. You can kind of see it tapering off down towards this area of North Carolina. Temperatures right now very cold, as Julie just mentioned, and as Eugene and Ashley just mentioned. We're talking temperatures, the teens, the 20s at best. We really won't do much better than this as we head throughout the day today. Highs today in the upper 20s at the most. Around the south side, teens and 20s as well. 19 in Great Bridge, 20 at Oceana, 20 in Churchland, 20 in Driver. So very cold temperatures, and even a tiny bit colder heading up the peninsula. Lightfoot 17 degrees, in Lackey and Lee Hall 18 degrees. You head to the rest of the peninsula as we're talking teens as well. So very, very chilly. Obviously not a day to head out into the boats on the water, as we do have choppy conditions. We have storm warnings in effect for the Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. For today, I am talking northwest winds 35 to 40 miles per hour, gusts up to about 50, waves 6 to 8 feet. In the Atlantic Ocean, northwest winds 35 to 40 miles per hour sustained, knots sustained as you get into the gusts 55 knots as well. Seas 10 to 15 feet around the area of the Atlantic Ocean. High tide today, we've already passed it or just about to hit it 8:35 this morning. Low tide around 3:01. So it is a very breezy day for us. You can see that by the fact that we have storm warnings, not a very common warning for us here across Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. Also the fact that those wind gusts are making it feel much colder, but it feels like temperatures in the teens and single digits today. I'll have more on the forecast, and so will meteorologist Craig Muller. We'll be back after the break.
All right, good morning, everybody. As we get the latest look at your traffic, we are watching one crash near Port Norfolk on 164 East in Portsmouth this morning. Still watching that water main break in Chesapeake as well. And then you'll notice in areas like Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, the driving speed is lower, and that's why we're seeing that orange pop up on the map. That's usually due to congestion, but of course, not many people are out on the roads today, so congestion is not likely. This is near the Midtown Tunnel, near that incident on 164. Can't see it with this camera, but do be aware of a lane closure in place in that area. As mentioned, Virginia Beach Boulevard, we have vehicles traveling slower than usual, and as we take a look at Town Center, you can see why. A lot of roads in Virginia Beach are still snow covered. Of course, on the interstates around Hampton Roads, you will not likely see snow. In Chesapeake, we're also seeing conditions like this. This is the latest look at I-64, so if you're off of the interstate, pay extra attention this morning. Guys.
Marta, good advice there. We appreciate it. And remember, you can stream our live radar right now on your phone or on your TV. All you need to do is scan the QR code that's right there on your screen as we work to bring you all of the latest all the time. We're going to be right back with another check of those conditions across our region as our team coverage continues.
Don't let money get between you and your new Tempur-Pedic. Throw a temper tantrum at Hanes. Get the temper tantrum price on all the new surround sound Tempur-Pedics. With 5 years, no interest. The temper tantrum price on the most pressure relief ever and ergo adjustables. Free financing, free delivery, free setup, free removal. Then relax and enjoy a new 65-inch TV free. Get your new Tempur-Pedic free and your new TV free. Throw a temper tantrum now at Hanes.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
Start the year in drive. Right now, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing on 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 models with over $6,000 in total value.
You've put up with your old shower for too long. It's outdated, unsafe, and it's time to replace it. But why struggle with a lengthy shower remodel when Jacuzzi can do it in just one day? And there's no need to break a sweat or your budget.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering 0 interest and 0 payments for up to 1 year.
So you can finally convert your old bath to a safer, easy entry shower, complete with a custom seat, grab bars, and slip-resistant floor installed in 1 day.
My overall experience with Jacuzzi has been wonderful. Everything was customized to the way I wanted it for the price that I wanted to pay.
I've had a great experience from start to finish.
Don't take matters into your own hands. Do it the smart way. Give Jacuzzi Bath Remodel a call.
There are only weeks remaining during our limited time offer. We're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-261-6204.
Okay, with the amount of snow that is out there today, many people are going to be outside shoveling snow from their driveways this weekend. And also, as we bring in the month of February, we have this snowstorm. And experts say it is important to remember to listen to your body. Give yourself a break when you're shoveling. Do not eat a big meal before or soon after so that your food will have a chance to settle as well. They also say not to drink before or after shoveling. And finally, if you are not feeling well, you should see a doctor. Okay, we'll be right back with more of our coverage.
If your floors have battled your kids,
if your pets have done a number on your carpet,
if your hallway looks more like a highway, you're in luck.
It's 50 Floor's ultimate flooring event.
With huge savings on vinyl, laminate, hardwood, and carpet.
They bring the showroom to you.
And they handle everything start to finish.
When bad floors happen,
homeowners count on 50 Floor.
Schedule your free design consultation today at 50floor.com. And right now, it's our early President's Day sale. Get 65% off plus free installation.
President's Day deals all month at Southern Auto Group. More days, more deals, lots of inventory. Low APR financing available. Plus, make no payments for 3 months. Drive the savings home this President's Day. DrivingSouthern.com.
I'm a coach. I'm competitive. It's really important to me that I have great coverage just for my job. I saw the commercial for Consumer Cellular. I thought at first, It's just for old people. But my cell phone bill kept going up. And then, of all things, I made the call. It was almost 50% less. I got 5% off with AARP. So then it went even lower.
Consumer Cellular gives you the same fast, reliable nationwide network for up to half the cost of big wireless.
Same tower, same coverage.
The same coverage that you're looking for, they offer.
And there's no long-term contracts.
You don't like us? 1 month. Cut us loose, Coach.
We'll have you wrapped up in about 20 minutes. Really.
We hadn't gone back. We're not going back. We're with Consumer Cellular.
Call now and see how one of our U.S.-based Switch Pros can cut your bill by up to half. And right now, get your second month free with code SECONDFREE. Call 1-800-919-6381.
Tired of burning your paycheck on heating bills? Take advantage of Thompson Creek's incredible winter window sale. You can get brand new top quality windows in as little as 2 weeks. Give us a call today.
Well, we know viewers across Hampton Roads have been dealing with changing conditions from this winter storm. Our team has been here nonstop to keep you informed. Thanks for waking up with us here at 8:30. I'm Ashley Smith.
And I'm Eugene Daniel. You know, we've had our team of meteorologists and our crews here who have been out and about showing you the impacts of the storm. But first, we do want to start with meteorologist Craig Bowler. As you see our team and our crews there, we'll have more from them in just a bit. Craig, this has been an interesting weather system.
Yeah, it really has, and really tricky to forecast. I wanted to start off, and we're going to get back into kind of what we're waking up to now. Honestly, most of the snow has pulled away, and we've already gotten what we're going to see. But this was the final forecast that Tim presented going in before the snow actually started. Said, okay, this is where we think we're going to land. And honestly, when you take a look, I know there's some people are going, oh, okay, well, where's the 8 inches, or where's this or that? Okay, these were the final numbers that we had settled on before the start of the event, and I'm going to show you some of the reports that have come in. Now, keep in mind 1 to 2 inches. Most of the peninsula really didn't see that much. However, we did get a report from Newport News of 1.5 inches. South side, 2 to 4 inches, 4 to 8 for parts down into North Carolina. Let's take a look at the updated snow reports, and these are ones that have come in through 7:30 this morning. It's kind of interesting. Grandy down in North Carolina, 10 inches. Duck, 7 inches. So again, that was that area that was identified with those higher totals. Kilby in Suffolk, 4.2. Great Bridge, 3.7, and as I mentioned, even up in Newport News, 1.5. Most of Norfolk and most of Virginia Beach came in around 2 inches. And again, maybe that was a little bit less than what we were thinking a day or two ago. But in general, the final forecast actually worked out pretty nicely, and we said this was going to be a tough one, no bones about it, and it was because there was so much dry air in place. Now the snow's done its thing. What we're still contending with is blowing snow. If it looks like you still have flurries in your area and you're around Hampton Roads or even up on the eastern shore, it is blowing snow that you're seeing. Light snow continues to fall down across the southern Outer Banks. This stuff is moving out. We still have a high wind warning near the coast, and those winds still really whipping right along the coast there. We're seeing some winds up into the 40s for the ocean front. All right, I'm getting the wrap, so I'm going to be quiet here. 26 degrees, wind chills in the single digits. That's it. It's going to be cold today.
Okay, let's check on some of those conditions out and about there, particularly in Norfolk. We talked about those gusty winds, the freezing temperatures, and snow that's out there this morning.
Yeah, let's check in with Jordy Clark. She joins us live from the Weather Impact Interceptor this morning with the very latest. So, Jordy, it looks like you're out there on the roads again. Where exactly are you in Norfolk, and what are you seeing?
Yes, so we are currently on Hunter's Trail, a little kind of off-roading for you because we wanted to show you just conditions in these, smaller neighborhoods, kind of off. I mean, this again was a road before all of this snow. And now this is, again, kind of an off-roady kind of area. We've seen people actually walking back and forth. I wouldn't say shocked, if you want to get out and about. I think it is daytime now, so we can, feel a little more free, but it's cold. It is cold. cold, guys. So certainly if you do plan to get out, I'd say bundle up. But, you know, roads are looking like this. And while, yes, this is an off-road kind of experience for you guys, I will say, I mean, you can just kind of see with the tire tracks, you know, it's not melting right now. So that's even in neighborhoods, those secondary roads as well. They're not cleared up just yet. And again, with those cold temperatures and the wind, it's not going to be cleared up anytime soon. So we actually hope to get out of the vehicle after this to maybe even just kind of talk to a few people, kind of see what's going on. But I mean, they've been out and about. I've seen some kids starting to play around. So certainly, you know, the cold is not stopping them, which is okay today, especially when that sun comes back out. But, you know, as you can see, that's what it's looking like throughout, not just Norfolk, but our areas and even down south in North Carolina. So certainly bundle up and be safe. And we'll continue to track all these conditions and give you the latest because, again, it's winter. Winter is here. It's not coming anymore. It's certainly here, guys.
Yeah, for sure, Jordy. Thank you for that, and we'll check in with you a little bit later this morning. In the meantime, we have to head out to North Carolina.
Yeah, we have Layla Cox, who's been reporting from Dare County, and there we have just seen that wind really strong where she's been. Let's go ahead and bring her up. Layla, where in the area are you right now? And it looks like you have some crews busy at work behind you.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we're in the Outer Banks area, in the Kill Devil Hills area. We were heading down to Nags Head, but we had to stop on our way because we've been seeing several crews mobilizing for the aftermath of this winter storm system impacting the Outer Banks area. Now, since we last spoke about 15 minutes ago, we've seen 4 more Dominion Energy trucks coming down the road to obviously respond to these power outages across Dare County. But I'm going to take a step to the side so you can see this one that's been behind me for the past hour or so, taking care of these power lines, you know, doing their job as Dominion Energies is asking for your patience at this time as an influx of outages have been happening because of these high gusty winds. Now, with these gusty winds continuing to pick up, the possibility of more power outages or even increment power outages could be possible. So just, you know, please stand by for Dominion Energy. They're definitely working as hard and do diligently as they can to respond. Now, another thing that I want to show you guys is the snow accumulation on the roadways definitely have gradually picked up over the course of the night as the storm system has proceeded into the morning. Now, I've been saying all morning it's not snowing directly at this moment. This is just what we've been saying about the blizzard-like conditions and these snow nados we've been seeing over the course of this morning as the wind gusts continue to pick up. Earlier today, we also saw a few crews that said that they were going to, they came out, you know, of their homes to volunteer and make sure that the first personnel operations around here, like our urgent care in Kill Devil Hills, have clean, open parking lots. So if you need to get your help, the essential personnel out here are to respond as needed. Overall, it's been really a community effort out here in the Outer Banks to keep everyone warm and safe. So please just stand by. Our first responders are out here ready to respond. For now, live in the Outer Banks, I'm Layla Cox, 13 News Now.
Yeah, Layla, thank you for that. You know, we're keeping an eye on the Dominion Energy outage map here, and it looks like in Dare County, let me double check here. We just had those numbers pulled up. 714 customers still without power, but that has certainly fluctuated throughout the morning. They've been working very hard.
Very hard. And so expect to see those crews out and about. And we tell people all the time, we want to remind you that if you do have a down power line that is in your area, stay clear of it. Yeah. Just go ahead and call Dominion or use their app right away. Layla, we appreciate you. We're going to stay in North Carolina now, though, with Jeremiah Beatty. She is in Elizabeth City with the check on conditions there. Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey there, Eugene, Ashley. Well, as you can see, I have snow on me, but it's also kind of coating out here and blowing that snow around, and that's what we've been seeing all morning long. But on the ground, I do want to pick up some. So we've been talking about the consistency of snow is very powdery, light to the touch, but very fluffy. And you can see here it's kind of coating the road, but in some areas it actually turns into ice. And I want to do this as safely as possible, but this is ice, and you can see that snow there, tire treads where cars have been coming through this area. But this parking lot, I want to show you, some crews have been out here working, clearing this area. They've done a really good job scraping up that snow, but some people we have seen have been out and about taking care of snow and those parking lots. But again, if you can, we haven't seen a lot of people out here, so that's good. We know you're home. That's the best place to be. Don't be like us right now outside in the snow, cold. Definitely my hands and feet are numb, but a beautiful sight to see in Elizabeth City. We'll continue to track conditions outside for you, but reporting from Elizabeth City, Jeremiah Beatty, 13 News Now.
Yeah, I mean, even with her completely bundled up with the gloves and the thick coat, she's saying she's still very cold. So that's why we're advising people to please stay home. Jeremiah, thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Go ahead and get indoors or get into the car, warm up for a little bit. We'll have much more from Jeremiah and others on the other side of this break.
Welcome back, everybody. New snow reports. I feel like I'm kind of taking Craig's work a little bit. He worked all on this. He said, you're good. Okay, so I feel better now. This is the snow reports we've been seeing just this morning. I know people are starting to wake up now and join us here on Daybreak. So you're probably starting to see some of the snow there. Snow did fall, as you can see, if you step out the door just quickly. But some of the highest snowfall totals we're seeing, Grandy, 10 inches of snowfall. So hitting that mark of the very high end we were forecasting really yesterday. Duck, around 7 inches of snowfall, which fell within the 4 to 8 we were thinking for places around the Albemarle and the Outer Banks. You head into Kilby, around 4 plus. Great Bridge, just under 4, so places around the south side getting 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. We forecasted that as well. Newport News, you actually overperformed the forecast just slightly. We were expecting maybe a trace to 1 inch around the peninsula. Some places got 1.5 inches of snow. So snow across Hampton Roads. We'll have more live reports from our reporters after the break. I'll be back here with Craig with the forecast in just a moment.
Good morning. We know viewers across the region have been dealing with the dangerous roads and also this bitter cold. Our team has been here nonstop to help keep you informed.
That's right. Let's check in now with the North Carolina Department of Transportation as we navigate this winter storm. We have Tim Haas with us this morning. Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a really busy time for you, but Tim, we've been checking some spots in North Carolina. Haven't seen a whole lot of people on the roads, which is good. But for those that do have to head out, what are your major trouble spots on the roads this morning?
Well, the roads are packed with snow and ice. The wind is howling. I mean, there are some gusts that are approaching 40, 45 miles an hour out here. And that's just making travel very, very treacherous. So the main advice, of course, is to stay off the roads if at all possible. And if you have to go out, slow down, give yourself plenty of space between you and the car in front of you. And when you see our plows and salt trucks out there, please give them room to work because the more they can get done, the faster this will be cleared off the roads. But again, the main advice, if at all possible, stay off the roads today.
And Tim, you mentioned that wind. We've had our reporters out there and we could see it for ourselves, how much it's been howling. How does that impact what you and your team have to do when you're trying to keep everybody safe?
Well, it means that sometimes even after we make a pass on a road, the wind will blow the snow right back onto it. So it doesn't make it. It makes it more difficult in that one pass isn't going to clear a road as it might be if there were no winds at all.
Now, Tim, you know, it seems like with these back-to-back storms, there were very different preparation plans from last weekend's winter storm to this one, right? They were two very different forecasts for sure. Can you talk a little bit about what you all did to get ahead of this storm and what's been very effective now that we're kind of coming out on the other side of things?
Yes, well, we did the brining operations Thursday and some of Friday. And actually, what was good in this storm is that we did not get the rain before we got the snow. Sometimes rain will dampen how much that brine is effective. This time, it went straight to snow, and our bridges actually stayed pretty well through early evening yesterday evening. So the brine worked, but now we're getting to the point where there's just too much snow and too much ice, and we just need to clear it now.
Now, Tim, we've been talking about the wind. We've talked about the snow. I want to talk about NC12 right now. I just saw you all's 8 a.m. update that parts of it remain closed. Now, that is a different issue, right? Because we're also dealing with that overwash.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, what you all are doing and what you want drivers and people in the area to know about NC12.
Okay, well, when we originally closed it last night, it was mostly because of visibility issues. We had snow, we had sand, we had wind blowing across. There was no visibility. This morning with the high tide, we got ocean overwash in several locations. The Pea Island Visitor Center, over at Buxton, a lot of places where the tide just pushed the ocean water onto the road. So that has complicated things, of course. We do have crews out there, but NC12 will remain closed today between Oregon Inlet and Rodanthe and also on the north end of Ocracoke Island.
All right, Tim, thank you very much for that with NCDOT. I know you've been working really hard, really for the last couple of weeks at this point. Not sure if we can get Craig to come in here. I know he wanted to maybe say something really quickly.
I don't know if there's a way, and I'm jumping into a shot here, but I'm interested to note with that overwash, those temperatures down there still very cold. Is there, concerns about, frozen areas, not only just clearing those roads, but like the remnant water kind of freezing up on some of those surfaces? Have you heard anything?
The good thing is it's ocean water, so it's salt water, so it doesn't freeze. It doesn't freeze as quickly as plain water would. But that is obviously as the temperatures lower tonight, that is a concern. And so we're out there today trying to clear it as much as we can. We of course have another high tide later this evening that we will have to deal with. But yeah, again, even where the parts of NC12 that are open, still stay off the roads. I can't say it enough.
All right, Tim Haas with NCDOT. We appreciate you, man. Be safe, and thank you for all that you're doing. And Craig, I know we've been monitoring. You got some pictures that even pulled up there of NC12.
Yeah, Tim, appreciate everything he does. He does a fantastic job keeping us informed. I want to take you to some pictures right now down along NC12, and we've got those on Max 1. We're going to do that right after the break.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
We'll be right back. I thought we were going straight into big weather. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the clock thinking, okay, well, we normally hit big weather now to 8:50. Okay. Yeah, no, I thought we were going into big weather there. And yeah, that was just, I wanted to
Thanks for sticking with us here on our team coverage on Daybreak on this Sunday. I mean, this storm has been very interesting. The wind has been what's been more intriguing to me, too, along with the snow.
Absolutely. We've got crews all across Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. They've been working so hard this morning. Shout out to them for sure. But we've seen so many different types of conditions throughout the morning. It's been changing. We've been on the air since 5 o'clock this morning, and it really has been interesting to see the different conditions out there across Hampton Roads. I know you've been watching the roads very closely here across the area.
I mean, snow was obviously in the picture in Hampton Roads, less so than maybe some of us wanted.
Yeah.
The wind on the roads this morning
Wild.
was like 2 hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very, very gusty winds. We just heard from Tim Haas down there talking about NC12, and I wanted to show you some of the pictures there. The images update regularly. These aren't live, like, full live images, but they refresh like every 10, 15 seconds or so. And we have seen some large vehicles down on NC12 near the Oregon Inlet. They're looking south, working to clear some of the overwash and some of the sand that is covering up NC12 there. So you see the mess that is down there. I want to show you what's happening at Norfolk Botanical Garden. Again, snow over the grounds there at the garden. And it was only a couple inches in Norfolk. I know some of you were saying, well, we wanted to see more. We were saying 2 to 4, and we came in on the lighter end of that. But there were some areas down around Great Bridge, a little bit more. We had some slightly higher amounts in Suffolk as well. Parts of Virginia Beach, as you got closer to the state line, got a little bit more. Right now, 19 degrees. This is what we really want to harp on. What is out there isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to stay below freezing today. I do think we're going to see a little more sunshine later. The snow is pulling away. We still have blowing snow, and it continues down to the south, especially once you get down around the southern Outer Banks. You still have some snow down around the Pamlico Sound. But in general, things are starting to improve, and the winds are not as bad as they were, although that high wind warning continues at the coast. Some of the most recent gusts reported: Tangier Island, 40 miles per hour, a 33-mile-per-hour gust in Norfolk. And down at Duck Pier, there you go, 47 miles per hour. We had one to 43 miles per hour there at Oceana. So you understand why we have that high wind warning at the coast. At one point this morning, there was a 60-mile-an-hour gust at Duck Pier. So we were saying, we could see winds in excess 50 to 60 miles per hour with those gusts. We've also had the coastal flood alerts. We're actually coming past the high tides, and now things will be improving. So good news there. Bitterly cold, though, and the kids may want to go out and play in the snow, but you've got to limit their exposure to these temperatures. Serious cold, as you can see. As for the next 7 days, it's going to be a little warmer, but staying well below our normal high of 51.
All right, thanks, Craig. And as we were talking about, the windy conditions certainly causing an impact this morning. Level 2 wind restriction has been up on the CBBT all morning long. We've also seen reports of high winds across all of our bridges. So that includes the HRBT, the Monitor Merrimack, the James River Bridge, and the Jordan Bridge. We're still watching reports of a water main break in Chesapeake at Providence and Sparrow Roads. So with that being said, that intersection near Military Highway is closed. Taking a look in Suffolk this morning near Main Street, or Kings Fork, where the snow has kind of moved out of the main lanes of travel, but especially when you're turning or merging, you're likely to encounter those slick spots. So even in areas where the snowfall wasn't too heavy, if it hasn't been plowed or heavily trafficked, it's going to linger because it is still so cold out there. This is Virginia Beach Town Center. You can see this is a well-traveled intersection. Snow lingering in the intersection this morning. And of course, we're watching for those slick spots as well. On the other hand, though, our main roads are looking pretty good. This is the Jordan Bridge. Looks very cold and maybe even frozen, so be careful, and be careful for those windy conditions. Once again, 13 News Now Daybreak. We'll be right back.
right, your time now, 8:55. As we've said, North Carolina got hit with some significant snow from this weekend system.
And we've been showing you the images from there. We showed you the conditions in that area, but let's look at some of the other portions of the state. Here's a look at Mount Airy, North Carolina. Check that out. Plows are putting in the works to get those roads clear, but still making for messy conditions on the roads. And in Atlantic Beach, that snow was coming down yesterday. I mean, look at it. It even seems heavy, to be honest with you. You can just see how thick those snowflakes were coming down, coating people's yards and driveways. Well, this video is going to show you the conditions yesterday in Roxborough around 2 o'clock. You can see there's a good amount of snow there on the grounds. The main roads, not too bad at that time, but those secondary roads, definitely not as clear. We'll be right back.
Thirteen News Now has been here from the first weather impact alert to the latest impacts, tracking the changing conditions of this winter storm all weekend long.
How about that time lapse? Pretty cool there, right? This video you're looking at now shows you snow from overnight in our region, from Hampton Roads all the way to northeast North Carolina. Thank you for sticking with us here. It is 8:58. I'm Eugene Daniel.
And I'm Ashley Smith. And you know, this winter storm passed over our area, brought snow, but we've been talking a lot about the winds and the cold temperatures to our community. We do have team coverage bringing you the latest conditions in your backyard. But first, we're going to check on that forecast with meteorologist Craig Moeller and Taylor Stephenson. You know, this system has changed every step of the way, guys.
What an overnight it's been. I came in, I started my shift last night around 9 o'clock, 9:30, going out and just trying to get some video of the elements and have been with us through the overnight. And I know you had all the time yesterday and then back in early this morning. We have seen incredible amounts of wind and blowing snow.
I mean, and most of that snow, a lot of reports, I'm starting to get people sending in pictures now. I mean, they're talking 4 to 8 inches down in northeastern North Carolina. Some places around the south side, 1 to 3. Some places even higher. We've seen some totals up to 4.
Yeah, Great Bridge, a little bit under 4 inches,
Yeah.
I think 3.7 or 3.5. There have been some significant amounts of snow. Again, some folks maybe wanted a little bit more, but down to the south, that's where we knew it was going to be concentrated the most. We've seen that. Let's take a look at the good news in that the system is pulling away.
And finally, I mean, but the good news with that too, Craig, is that while we still have pretty breezy conditions around the Outer Banks, once it starts to continue to make that move to the north and east, those winds will start to subside much later on today.
Yeah, we're going to look forward to that. I'll go ahead and talk about where this stuff is now. Again, pulling away from the area. The snow really has ended across our area, the fresh additional snowfall, but there is blowing snow. And keep in mind, it was so dry yesterday afternoon and it's been so cold that we had a very light powdery snow. So even though we don't have additional snow right now, you may encounter some areas where there is blowing snow, and that may reduce visibilities a little bit. You're also going to find variable conditions on the roadways. So areas that are looking pretty good, you might be driving along some of the different roadways and you find almost clear conditions or basically clear conditions, and then you come into some areas that there was some drifting snow and you got snow covering the roads. You just need to stay extra alert out there and know that it is still very gusty at the ocean front from the southern part of the eastern shore there in Northampton County, including Pecos, Hampton, and then south side we have it in Portsmouth, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and down through the Outer Banks. Now, we're not seeing the gusts quite that strong. This is what we were dealing with all morning. Now it's more in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range with those maximum wind gusts. Occasionally we'll see one up around 50 or so down at the Outer Banks, but it's generally been in the 40s that we've been seeing those higher gusts. We do have an extreme cold warning and single-digit wind chills right now. Look at this, teens to near 20. These are air temperatures. You factor in these strong winds, it feels like just 1 degree right now in Virginia Beach, 4 in Chesapeake, 0 in Elizabeth City. Again, with the strong winds, the kids may want to go out and play in the snow that you do have out there, but you've got to limit your exposure to these wind chills. You can tell the kids the snow isn't going anywhere, not today. Temperatures today will only top out in the mid to upper 20s. We will see a little more sunshine later this afternoon. Right now, windy and cold. Marta?
Yeah, we've seen wind restrictions on the CBBT all morning, reports of high wind on all of our bridges. So definitely one of the big factors we're watching on the roads this morning isn't even the snow. As we take a look at your map of Hampton roads, we had a water main break in Chesapeake earlier this morning that we're still watching at Providence and Sparrow roads. That intersection near Military Highway is closed. If you're seeing orange on the map, you may be thinking, is that congestion? No, that is the driving speed. That's actually what it always is. It's usually impacted by congestion, but today it's impacted by the weather. And so areas where you're seeing orange, likely areas where we're seeing snow-covered roads. As we take a look at Lynn Haven Parkway, this might be my favorite camera of the morning because what am I even looking at here? It's just snow across the whole road. So be careful throughout those intersections. Of course, on interstates, you're probably in better shape. Primary intersections, this is in town center, you're likely to still see a little bit of snow cover and some ice, but things are improving in those well-trafficked areas. Once again, watch for wind on our bridges. Here's the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. I'll be back with another update soon, guys.
All right, Marta, we'll see you then. Thanks. All right, we've been talking about North Carolina, and they saw more impacts from this winter storm.
Yeah, they really saw a lot of effects from this. Snow totals from last night show several inches that had accumulated on the ground. We have Layla Cox, who's been there. You were there yesterday in Dare County. You're there this morning as well. The wind has been such a story. We're looking at it right there behind you, Layla.
Ooh. Yeah, that's right, guys. The wind has definitely been a story at Yes, the wind gusts along with the bitterly cold temperatures that's really freezing the snow that we see on the grounds. We've been seeing a bunch of salt and brining trucks come down to do as much as they can with the snow accumulation, but we still, as you just saw take place just right there, some people still trying to drive out here. It's really slick on these roadways. We've also seen a few Dominion Energy service crews out here mobilizing for these power outages that a few people, a few hundred people in Dare County are experiencing now. With the combination of these strong gusty winds and cold temperatures, the possibility of fire risks are also in play. And you might think, well, why would there be some sort of fire risk when it's bitterly cold outside? But
Layla,
that seems to be the case right here in Nags Head.
Layla, if you can hear me real quick, typically I will never do this, but could you do me a favor? Can you and our photojournalist Jaron, you guys are great, can you step a little bit closer away from that road? I'm just getting real nervous. We just saw that one car almost skid off. I just want you guys to be in the safest position possible with your ability to see the road coming to you as well, if you can do that for me. All right, keep going, man. That's all I wanted.
I appreciate that concern, definitely, for our safety out here. But as I was saying, just with the possibility of fire risks being an influx of calls for fire risks. I mean, even when I was in Hampton Roads last week, I spoke with a few fire chiefs that say during this time with these frigid cold temperatures and the possibility of these high wind gusts causing these power outages, people are using alternative methods to keep themselves warm, or even, heating safety units as well. And with the possibility of, not really following the proper heating safety risk precautions could lead to some fires. And we're, seeing some remnants online of a possible fire in Nags Head. We're working to confirm with Nags Head Fire and Rescue right at this moment, and we're heading down to Nags Head now to show you guys that within the next 30 minutes or so. So overall, the temperatures are bitterly cold. The wind gusts are causing these kind of snow nados, which I loved. Craig gave that terminology earlier. I've been using it all day. And these blizzard-like conditions are going to continue. That's Dare County Emergency EMS right there. We've been seeing a lot of these first responders mobilizing as much as they can to respond to the impacts of these power outages. And you might look why I'm a little concerned right now, but this car is doing donuts in the road. We do not advise that here on 13 News Now. Please just stay safe as possible on these slick conditions. For now, live in the Outer Banks, I'm Layla Cox. We'll be with you guys soon with the latest update from local law enforcement.
Yeah, Layla, and typically I would say, for our photojournalists to capture what's going on. I feel like they're doing what we are telling people not to do, so
Absolutely.
I don't want to give them the sign of that at that moment. But you can see, what they're doing. That car now is just driven back and forth a few times. But it's the wind, the roads, all of that makes it hard for you when it comes to visibility and driving. So, Layla, be safe. We appreciate you out there, okay?
Yeah, very slick, very dangerous conditions, folks. Please take your time out there. And again, we're reminding people, if you do not have to head out, please stay indoors.
And I can't reiterate, don't do what that truck was doing.
Absolutely.
As well. I mean, especially when we have our crews who are out, they're trying to make sure everybody can be safe. Anyway, but, speaking of crews, we've also been checking in with Dominion Energy and following their outages maps because there have been several outages across our area. Here's a look at it right now.
All right, here are the latest numbers here in Hampton Roads. We are seeing just under 200 people without power this morning. So that number has been dwindling down thanks to the crews working really hard. Most of the outages right now are in Norfolk. Now in North Carolina, about 1,000 residents between Dare and Currituck counties waking up in the dark. But that same deal, even in North Carolina, those numbers have been going down throughout the morning.
And we know the snow has been, winding down at this point. People still, though, seeing the impacts. We just showed you what it looks like there in Dare County.
Yeah, we've seen the snow coating the ground across Hampton Roads in northeast North Carolina. Definitely the case in Norfolk. Let's turn now to Jordy Clark. She joins us live from our weather impact interceptor around there somewhere, but you jumped out for a bit. Where exactly are you in Norfolk? What are you seeing there?
Yes, good morning. So we are right off of Souls Point Road at the 5 Points Civic Plaza Park, and we've been talking about all morning, especially with our team coverage, which we are so thankful that we have because we're able to show just how impactful the storm was and how it looks different across the area. I mean, down in North Carolina, obviously, Layla, bless her heart, has been really experiencing the full-on blizzard. All of our team members that are down there, and then even up here, while it might seem calmer, it still feels just as cold. But also, it's interesting to show the different areas and how much that snow, especially when it comes to the wind drift, that's moved it. So looking at the park itself, if you're walking by, it's like, oh, just a nice dusting, really doesn't look like it was too impactful. And then following me over here, I'll have my photojournalist show you guys, just looking at the neighborhood, those roads right there shows you looks can be deceiving. What looks like for a moment might just seem like a light dusting. Some neighborhoods, the roads have been so impactful. And again, we were driving down here and had certainly even saw a car ourselves kind of do the little skid out for a moment. So if you are not accustomed to driving in these conditions, do not attempt to at this point. If you do not have to go out, that's why we keep reiterating to stay inside, not just because we have to. We are out here to show you just how much it is impacting all of us. Again, and if you've never driven in it, and I myself, while I am accustomed to driving in it, I don't want to. Okay, I want to be inside, and so many of us should stay inside today. I know the kiddos want to get out and play, and like Craig said, the snow is not going anywhere because the cold is keeping it here. So be mindful that neighborhoods, secondary roads, those streets, they still will look like this for a while. They won't be melting. If anything, I'm praying for the sun just to take a little peek, just to warm my face up just a little bit. But again, that's why we have this team coverage to kind of show you how it looks different. So even if you look out your yard and you're saying, no, there's not that much snow. There's other places like this that tell a very different story and paint a different picture. So just be mindful of that. We live in an area where everyone is impacted differently. So hopefully you can see through our team coverage all day that we've certainly seen all different types of areas and snow amounts. So be mindful if you're out today. If not, just bundle up, stay warm, and stay inside and stay safe and off the roads if you can. But until then, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Jordy, thank you for that. You've been out and about around Norfolk all morning long, whether you're outside of the weather impact interceptor or riding on the roads. We appreciate your reporting this morning.
All right, we appreciate you, Jordy, and thank you as well for sticking with us here on 13 News Now Daybreak. We will be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson, and I want to show you a look around the region, plus some of the temperatures we're feeling this morning. Here's our live look from our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view from the Norfolk Botanical Garden, and you can see the snow covering the grounds there. Beautiful sight there, obviously very quiet, as most people are going to be inside their homes. The big thing that we're going to talk about today, aside from the tides, aside from the gusty winds, is that the gusty winds will make it feel really cold. Right now in Virginia Beach, it's 20 degrees. Feels like temperature 1. In Norfolk, 19 degrees, feeling more like 5 degrees. You get to Elizabeth City. Right now, air temperature 18 degrees. It feels more like 0 across our area. So as we head throughout the region, expect a very cold day. So any snow that is on the ground will stick, as we should remain below freezing all day through the night and then through most of the late morning, early afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures throughout Virginia and North Carolina at best in the middle to upper 20s and lower 30s around the coast. Heading inland, possibly some temperatures slightly above freezing. Craig and I will have the forecast after the break.
All right, this is a live look here down in Elizabeth City. You heard Taylor say we're going to have so much more after the break, including a live report from Jeremiah Beatty.
All right, your time now 9:16. Our region waking up with a bit of a winter wonderland after yesterday's snow.
But it is making for less than ideal conditions as people are getting up this morning. We have Jeremiah Beatty, who is live in Elizabeth City. And Jeremiah, what do you have for us at this point?
Hey, so I actually came back by the pool here at the hotel that we've been staying at just to show how cold conditions are this morning. And again, still frozen solid. Now that the sun lights up, you can definitely see just the ice here. Like I said earlier this morning, some areas you can see the water underneath, but we definitely don't want to try to walk on this. My body weight definitely cannot handle walking on this. So if you have creeks or lakes in your neighborhood and it's frozen, we advise you not to get on that. But you can just see how cold these temperatures are outside this morning. Another aspect is being here in Elizabeth City. One thing I was hoping we could capture on camera are the wind gusts. They're so strong that they're picking up a lot of that snow on the ground and just kind of spinning it around. And it almost makes you think you're in a desert. If you ever seen the, a sandstorm like that, but with snow. So it's kind of been blowing around, but we're not seeing as many flurries in the sky like we did earlier this morning. Starting to calm down with those wind gusts as well. But again, just a spectacular sight here with this frozen pool. You can just see again, temperatures below freezing and the impact that's had on water. It's rock solid here, but we'll continue to follow conditions here in Elizabeth City. For now, Jeremiah Beatty, 13 News Now.
You know, a really good example there, Jeremiah. I'm so glad you showed us that pool that is frozen, but also the portion of it where you can clearly see that ice is not very thick,
it is
right?
Not thick at all.
You don't want to get on it. As she said, you want to make sure you stay clear. We've already had some scenarios on Hampton Roads.
Absolutely.
I mean, in the Commonwealth, I should say.
Right.
Where people have unfortunately been in that water and it's not been good.
And we just want everybody to stay safe, right? We know this is beautiful to look at and things like that, but the key is to stay safe if you do have to go out in these conditions and you're just enjoying yourself. Avoid the icy spots, avoid anything that looks like frozen water because, again, your body weight certainly cannot handle that walking across any kind of water like that. So, Jeremiah, thank you for your reporting this morning. We'll certainly check in with you a little bit later. But, you mentioned it. We've been tracking these conditions all across Hampton Roads into northeastern North Carolina all morning long. Let's take a look now at conditions overnight in Chesapeake. You can see how intense the snow was being blown by the wind. We saw that even with some of Layla's reporting a little bit earlier. But here in Chesapeake, the cars were braving the conditions out there on the roads. And now let's take a live look down at the Virginia Beach ocean front here. You can see the snow is certainly there along the boardwalk for sure. You can make out the sand there, but at this point, again, we just want you to avoid that area for sure. We just, are continuing to monitor conditions. We want people to stay safe, definitely. So we talked about this wind, we talked about the snow, but also the tides are something that we've been watching very, very closely this morning. Craig, I know you've been watching that a lot because you have those folks that, might think it might be fun to get out there and check out conditions there at the beach. And we've been telling people stay away for sure.
Yeah, freezing spray is something else. We talked with Tim Haas earlier with NCDOT, and we were talking about the overwash, and he brought up, it's salt water, so it's got, a lower freezing point. It's harder for salt water to freeze up. But when you get freezing spray, and those molecules go airborne, they can coat and make for more difficult conditions. That's what we were really talking about with the NCDOT crews down working NC12 right now. And I want to show you a couple looks. These are images that are updated and refreshed constantly from NC12. Looking in, you've got crews working around the Canal Zone and also Oregon Inlet. We've got some tractors and bulldozers out there kind of pushing some of the sand and overwash issues that they've been dealing with. There are going to be some icy areas down there, a lot of snow that we've been watching. And then we've been talking about Norfolk Botanical Garden. You contrast what you're seeing down there, and the garden looks absolutely beautiful this morning with the snow on the ground. Now, the roads are so highly variable depending on where you are. I mean, you've got some areas where it looks absolutely gorgeous, and then other areas you've got problems with standing. You know, you've got clear conditions right next to kind of compact snow on the ground. These are some more updated snow totals. I just put these in. Burgess, 9 inches. That's down in North Carolina. Weeksville, Nixonton, also 5.5 to 6 inches. Gallup's Corner, not far from Salem, picking up some heavier amounts. That's actually the Great Bridge reading there at 3.7. They had 2.5 inches there at Gallup's Corner. So just to let you know, there were some heavier amounts there. Virginia Beach generally has seen 2 to 2.5 inches reported in most areas. Newport News with 1.5 inches. Now, as we take a look, let me take the satellite images off here because it looks like, you know, you see the clouds still hanging in. Those clouds thin out to the west. We're going to see more sunshine. The snow is pretty much pulled off to the east. So as I take the clouds away, you can really make out the snow. And the snow is light out there as it is pulling away. The most intense winds still kind of, you know, pretty stout there, southern Outer Banks especially, but that will relax a little bit more as we get into the afternoon as well. The snow working down past southern shores won't be too much longer. Kill Devil Hills will be done with it, and Nags Head eventually as well. But with the snow that's fallen, as we mentioned, the heaviest snowfalls down in this part of the region, you've got blowing snow that may still reduce visibility. So those winds early this morning were gusting as high as 60 miles an hour around Duck Pier. Many areas with gusts between 45 and 55 miles per hour along the beaches, and now they're starting to step back a little bit. 30 mile per hour gust at Norfolk, a 39 mile per hour gust up at Tangier Island. Inland areas haven't been as windy, but it's still cold enough to really push those feels like temperatures down. We've seen single digits, a few spots below zero. Look at this, Oceana with a gust of 45, so the wind's still hanging in there. 44 mile per hour gust at Duck Pier, and Hampton with a gust to 30. So obviously windy. Coast Guard Air Station, Elizabeth City, also with a gust to 37. All right, we've got our coastal flood alerts. We've come through the high tides this morning, and we're going to see the water levels going down. But areas that did get a little wet, you know, watch out for some freezing surfaces as that water recedes, and there's some standing water. Just assume it's icy. You guys know there's a lot of ice out there in areas that look wet. They can be deceiving, so please be careful. Temps in the teens, and you can see 20 from Hampton to Virginia Beach and Currituck. Now, you take those winds, you factor them in, and it's feeling like it's between 0 and 5 degrees. You see Virginia Beach 2, 3 at Melfa, 0 at Wallops, 4 in Newport News, 0 down in Elizabeth City. Even those inland areas where the winds aren't as strong, you're looking at feels like temperatures 5 to 10 degrees. So very, very cold out there. You want to limit your exposure to that. The snow down to the south is going to taper off. With our futurecast, you'll see afternoon temperatures mid to upper 20s. We will see a little more sunshine. Jordy was saying earlier she's just hoping to see a little bit of sunshine today to take the edge off. When you are out there and feeling that wind, it stings your cheeks. I was outside earlier during the show, and it was hurting. It felt like needles and pins on your face. It was not a pleasant experience. The winds will relax a little bit later on and overnight into tomorrow, so that's good news. Temperatures tomorrow getting up into the mid-30s. That's going to feel great relative to today with less wind. And then as we get into our Tuesday, you can see the winds shifting around. Still really cold, but temperatures a little bit warmer as we should get up into the lower 40s. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. You'll notice a chance for a few showers on Wednesday. They'll be isolated. Should be rain showers for the most part, but if some linger into Wednesday night, there might even be a little bit of mix on the tail end of that. As we get into Thursday, a cooler shot of air, and then temperatures back in the upper 30s to near 40 Friday into Saturday. Let's check in with Marta right now. We'll see how things are moving.
Well, roads certainly are busy this Sunday morning, and no surprise there as we take the latest look at your road conditions around the region. It's really off on those secondary roads like in downtown Norfolk, where you're going to see the snow on the roads blowing around, potentially creating some issues for you this morning. Want to give you the latest live look at I-64. That's looking clear, no major issues. But then Great Neck Road, you can see completely snow covered, and just look at those traffic lights swinging in the wind. So snow an issue, but wind almost a bigger issue this morning for drivers as they head out the door. So be extra careful. 13 News Now Daybreak. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back now with breaking news on the Outer Banks.
Our crews are on the scene of a house fire. We believe this is in Nags Head. Let's go ahead and bring in Layla Cox. Layla, what are you seeing and what are you learning?
Yeah, good morning, guys. I told you guys we were heading down to Nags Head for reports of a house fire, which you can see right behind me on Danube Street, right off of South Coritan Highway. We were just showing you how first responders were coming down this way, along with the service crews. I'm going to step aside so you can see what the firefighters are doing at this moment. For the past hour, they've been out here trying to diffuse this fire at this coastal beach house. Now, with the high gusty winds, the risk of this fire spreading has been a major concern, which is why crews have been out here. On the opposite side of this house is actually a crane where we saw a few firefighters trying to diffuse the fire from the top. But you can see they're still trying to diffuse it as it's still currently in flames, especially at the top front of the house. You can see is was fully encroached in flames, but at the very tippity top of the house, you can see a flame still actually intact right now. We have Dare County EMS out here along with Dare County Emergency Management and firefighters and fire squads. They've been out here just trying to, I'm not sure if anyone currently lives in this home, but you can see a firefighter right there on the second, kind of story of that balcony right there, making sure that everything on the outskirts of the deck, which appears to be wood, are not, currently inflamed at this moment. We saw maybe a little bit over 10 firefighters here at this moment. We're still waiting to get the confirmation for the cause of this fire. But what we've been saying with these very gusty winds we've been seeing play along the course of the past 24 hours out here in Dare County, I mean, if I'm not even going to have Jaron turn around, but I can just tell you the winds have been picking up, and with this fire right here behind us, the risk of its spreading is really a concern. Thankfully, we were told no one was hurt, but as we work with our local law enforcement that are out here responding to these fire risks, we really just urge you guys to please monitor your space heater usage in your home. Make sure your candles are not lit in any unoccupied spaces. Check your carbon monoxide levels as well for possible gas leaks. If you're dealing with a power outage, which we know a few hundred of you guys are here in Dare County, but know that first responders are here to respond as promptly as possible to calls like this to mitigate these fire risks we're seeing play out here in the Outer Banks, guys. It's really been a community effort all morning to deal with the aftermath, from power outages to cars stuck in snow to now with a house fire we're seeing play out along this coastal area down here in Nags Head.
And first of all, Layla, to you and Jaron, thank you for hustling. You've been doing such a great job with your reporting today. And this I want to bring to attention. You see on the house, there are still even icicles.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jaron can zoom in there as we're looking at this fire that these crews are working to put out right now. There are literally icicles in certain portions of that I saw they're still dripping. Speaking to our fire crews, they are still out battling not only the fire, but those frigid temperatures, all of that at the same time. Great point that she brought out about trying to keep this fire from spreading as well with that wind, Ashley.
Yeah, there have been often times that we, are at the scene of these fires like this, and we talk to, Craig and Taylor and just our team of meteorologists, and they always talk about how weather plays such a big role in the response when dealing with fires like this. So as you mentioned, Layla, gusty winds out there, the crew's working really hard to try to get those hot spots. We saw that right at the top of that house there. As you mentioned, it's still very much going on. There's still a lot of work to do just to get that fire completely under control at this point.
And Layla, do me a favor. We're going to let you go and continue to do your job there. But when you get a chance to talk to them again, I would be very curious when firefighters are having to battle conditions that are this windy. You saw that they had that ladder that had to go up as well. Some of the things that they have to keep in mind to keep themselves safe. Obviously, they want to keep everyone else safe, but how can they maintain their own safety too? So when you get a chance, if you can ask them as a part of everything else, it'd be great. Again, great job there getting to that scene.
Absolutely. Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Jaron. We'll check in with you later. Meantime, here's a look at Virginia Beach. We're going to have the latest on the impacts of this storm in just 2 minutes. Well, we know viewers across Hampton Roads have been dealing with these changing conditions from this winter storm. Our team has been here nonstop to keep you informed. Thanks for waking up with us here at 9:30. I'm Ashley Smith.
And I'm Eugene Daniel. As you get up, we are right here with you. We have had team coverage all weekend long, bringing you the latest on this winter storm and the conditions that are impacting our community. Let's get the forecast now. The latest on this forecast. We have meteorologists Craig Moeller and Taylor Stephenson. Guys, this has been quite the event.
It has.
It's been a challenge to forecast for sure.
I mean, all the dry air that we had with the forecast, those snowflakes, they were so tiny.
Yeah.
Just vaporized in the air.
Had a hard time reaching the ground until the snowfall became so intense that it kind of moistened up the lower atmosphere.
Right.
Finally, the snow came, and I wanted to share, because this is something we've been talking about. You know, a lot of times there were some pretty large snowfall projections the models were throwing around. We kept saying, well, you know, watch and see our forecast, and we were modifying. We also said things can and do change, and we would modify it. This is the last official forecast that Tim and Evan had put out before the snow started yesterday afternoon, and you can see what they were projecting. What do you think?
I mean, it fell pretty much in line. I've been asking people on my Facebook page, what have they been seeing? It seems like everybody got, at least south side, 1 to 3 inches, but further south you went, some places go to 3, 4 inches. Down in North Carolina, we've seen some people show some pretty high totals. Even Layla's been out there all morning showing all that snowfall.
So let's take a look. Again, you see, we were saying, 1 to 2 up in the peninsula. Some areas didn't get that much, but we had a report of 1.5 inches up in Newport News, 2 to 4 south side, and then those higher amounts, 4 to 8 down across North Carolina. Grandy got 10 inches, Duck 7. Kilby out in Suffolk there, 4.2 inches. Great Bridge, we had a report of 3.7 inches. And Newport News, as I mentioned, only 1.5 inches. You take a look at some other reports that just came in because the snow kept falling overnight. Burgess and Weeksville, Nixon to these locations down in North Carolina. You can see 9 inches here at Burgess, and then Weeksville, Nixonton, and Boyac all around 5 to 6 inches. And then Gallup's Corner in Virginia Beach, 2.5 inches. That was fairly close to Salem. So just wanted to share with you some of the actual measured snowfall. Of course, there's been blowing snow. Not everybody got a lot, but there was some significant snow, especially down to the south. Now we're dealing with wind and cold. The snow's moving away, and just get ready for the chillier conditions, especially near the coast. We've been seeing winds gusting still in excess of 40 miles per hour at the ocean front. Highs today, mid to upper 20s. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Craig, thank you for that. You know, while the snowfall may have subsided, the impacts of this winter storm, they're sticking around.
So we've been talking about strong winds and that snow that's accumulated, and also tidal flooding. We're tracking it all. Julie Martin joins us live now at the ocean front this morning. Julie, we've been talking about that wind. How are you doing? Are you experiencing any of it out there?
Oh, yeah. We're still gusting in the mid-40s here along the Chesapeake Bay, and it feels like 1 degree right now. That's the wind chill. So blustery, bitterly cold morning here at the beach. We did get a little bit of snow here as well. You can see it kind of covering just the grassy surfaces for the most part. So not a ton of snow here, but it has been just a very long, windy stretch, especially early this morning. Some of the wind gusts overnight reached around 50 miles per hour, mid-50s actually. So we're talking tropical storm force winds here at the beach. Factor that in with all this really cold air and just really miserable conditions out here. Have not seen too many people out, couple of guys with their dogs. That's about it. Everyone else staying put inside. We have been running in and out as well just to stay warm, but this bitter cold is going to be with us as well as the wind probably for the remainder of the day today. So definitely the advice would be to stay indoors and stay warm. A dangerous cold Arctic air setting up here as the system pulls away. These winds are still pretty intense. You can't see it, but we sent in some video earlier of this pool at our hotel, and it looks like Antarctica there. It's like frozen over like icebergs because the winds had been pushing the water, which must be heated up and over the furniture there. So that just gives you an idea of just how atypical this event is. Pretty crazy, excuse me, pretty wild when you think about it. First day of February, and here we are on the beach with snow.
Not my typical beach type of day right there. I promise typically we have more people along there. You're not going to find anyone out there today.
No, but that's what we want, right? We want everybody to stay indoors for sure. So that's a good thing. But Julie, we really appreciate you joining us this morning and keeping us informed there out in Virginia Beach. We appreciate you. All right, meantime, Dominion Energy also reporting several outages. We've been telling you about this all morning long. These numbers have fluctuated, but according to the map right now, in Hampton Roads, we're seeing about 350 people without power this morning. In North Carolina, about 15,000 residents here between Dare, 1,500, I should say, between Dare and Currituck counties are waking up in the dark right now. But our crews have been out and about trying to get the power back on for everyone. We'll keep you posted on this certainly throughout the day. Daybreak continues right after this.
Well, it's 9:42 on this Sunday morning, typically a time when a lot of people head out the door for church or for other outings. This Sunday, we do have a lot of cancellations in place. Want to give you the latest live look at the James River Bridge. This is one of the areas where we've seen those high winds reported, and you can see on the live camera just how choppy it is. So anywhere you're crossing the water across Hampton Roads and in North Carolina today, you want to be extra careful. Of course, we've been watching a level 2 wind restriction on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel as well due to those windy conditions. Otherwise, around the region, a completely different picture in North Carolina. This is near Whalebone Junction in Hatteras. So on US 158, you can see those snow-covered roads. Of course, different conditions down in North Carolina, but you want to be careful all across the region. Eugene.
Marta, thank you. And then good words of advice for people there. We're taking a live look right now. That's Elizabeth City. People will be waking up this morning to the impacts from this winter storm. We're going to be back with the latest conditions on the other side of this break.
All right, welcome back. Our region waking up to snow on the ground this morning.
And it has been less than ideal on the roads and in portions of our community as well, like in Elizabeth City, where we can find Jemiah Beatty. Jemiah, you're right. Is that a road behind you? I guess it is, because we just saw a car. What's going on down there?
Yes, this is a road behind me, and it's covered in snow. I think every road I've showed you this morning has had snow just covering it, and it's quite interesting to see. We've seen a handful of people brave enough to venture out this morning, and the posted speed limit I saw here was like 45 miles per hour. I have seen some drivers going a little over that, but some that's been venturing very slow, taking their time, and that's what we love to see. But again, if you're home, that's the best place to be right now. But I will say, you know, the sunlight has come out this morning, but it's not breaking through the clouds, so it's not really doing anything with the snow that we're seeing on the ground. We're still dealing with below freezing temperatures, but again, it's just this snow is thick. We had some crews out earlier this morning kind of clearing out some of the roadways. We did see a number of plow trucks hitting South Hughes Boulevard here that you see. It didn't do much damage right there, but yeah, some people are getting out and about having fun in the snow this morning, but yeah, just a lot of snow covering the ground. The winds aren't as intense as they were earlier this morning, but those wind chills are intense. So again, if you can stay in, stay warm, do that. That's the best thing we can tell you to do. But again, we'll continue to monitor conditions here in Elizabeth City. I'm going to throw things back to you all in the studio.
I like where you were going with that, Jemiah. Stay warm and do you, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is one of those days. And I'll tell you, like I told Layla, too, because we're seeing these cars are trying to move around the roads. Mm-hmm. Listen, it doesn't take much to start sliding. And,
Absolutely.
you know, so when you see cars going too fast there, you be safe, Jemiah. But also for everyone else, if you got to get out there, please heed to that.
I mean, we saw that earlier, right? Like, you know, folks trying to get out and about, you think you're going to do okay, and then you hit that slick spot and you start to swerve, and that's when we have these dangerous issues, right?
Listen, I've been there. I know I've experienced it before in my lifetime as well, and it's one of those moments you really, if you can avoid it, what Jemiah just say, stay home and do you?
Stay home and do you.
Okay.
And of course, Jordy's already mentioned TV. We can read some books, some education.
Do something. Just stay inside.
Just stay inside.
Yeah.
There you go. Today we are seeing the snowfall totals starting to come in from local reports. And of course, we were waiting for most of you all to wake up because you didn't have to be here at 1 a.m. like some of us had to be here. So of course, we were waiting for you all to wake up to hear your snow reports. And here's a few that we've seen. In Burgess, we've seen 9 inches of snowfall over the course of this winter storm. In Weeksville, 6 inches. Nixington, less than 6, Moyock around 5, Gallups Corner less than 3. So places around the area significantly were more impacted in North Carolina, obviously, as we said throughout the course of the week that this is going to be a kind of backward storm for Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. The main impacts were going to be south, less impacts as you head north. I love this satellite and radar loop because you can actually see where that center of low pressure is. Look how it's swirling just offshore. It's pulling away from the Outer Banks and taking the snowfall with it. Right now, you can see radar for us is quiet across the area. A few isolated flurries just offshore of the Delmarva Peninsula down into the Outer Banks. Still seeing some light flurries, Kill Devil Hills, Nags Head down through Rodanthe and then out into Stumpy Point. So just make sure, again, as we've said all throughout the course of the day, and you heard Jemiah say just now, try your best to stay off the roads. We've seen some breezy conditions with some blowing snow. The breezy conditions continue throughout the rest of your Sunday. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour are possible in these areas in purple. That includes the southern eastern shore, portions of the peninsula, down through the eastern south side, down to the Currituck Sound and the Outer Banks. We also have a wind advisory in effect for the rest of the peninsulas down into the central portions of the south side and northeastern North Carolina. So a breezy day today, and on top of that, we have that really cold weather. An extreme cold warning still in effect for feels like temperatures near 0. Right now, air temperatures, teens and 20s. We really won't improve much as we head throughout the day today. Right now, you can see some feels like temperatures are near 0. Wallops Island, Melfa, down through Elizabeth City, seeing some feels like temperatures near 0. Virginia Beach not doing much better at 2 degrees for feels like temperature. Same for 5 in Hampton and in Norfolk as well. You head inland a little bit better because the winds are not as strong, but still feeling like the teens and 20s. So a very chilly day. As we head through the course of the day today, we had a really cold morning. Our weather impact alert lasts until the end of this newscast, so around 10 a.m. After that, we're going to see conditions start to improve in terms of our sky conditions, but barely when it comes to temperatures. We're right now in the lower 20s. You get into the afternoon today, we're going to be in the upper 20s at best, feeling more like the lower 20s as you get throughout the day. We still will have wind gusts as high as about 30 to 40 miles per hour during the afternoon, but winds will slowly taper off. So today, again, weather impact alert for the next few minutes. Temperatures in the mid-20s, increasing sunshine throughout the day as well, but very breezy, very cold, no more snow in the picture. Tonight, anything that decides that it wants to be a little bit more slushy, anything that is left over on the roads will start to freeze over again. Temperatures drop significantly. We're back into the teens around the coast. That means inland will be barely above 10 degrees for actual air temperatures. Tack on the fact that we'll have some gusty winds overnight as well. It's going to feel again more like the lower teens to the single digits. We have a cold weather advisory in place for today into tonight, but we'll have mostly clear skies. Tomorrow will be finally above freezing after over 90 hours of below freezing temperatures in Norfolk. Temperatures tomorrow barely making it above freezing, though, in the middle to upper 30s. So anything that, again, is left over the roads may start to melt just a little bit, but overnight temperatures plummet again. We'll have a lot of sunshine, again, finally above freezing. Wind gusts start to taper off through Monday as well. Your 5 to 7 day forecast shows that we are going to see temperatures at best in the mid-40s this week, but that's still below normal with our normal high of 51 degrees.
All right, we are following breaking news in Nags Head, North Carolina. When we come back, we'll tell you what we know. That's next. All right, we are following breaking news this morning on the Outer Banks.
Let's show it to you right now where crews are on the scene of a fire. This is off South Virginia Dare Trail in Nags Head. That's a look right there. You see the fire crews. Now, the bulk of this fire has been knocked down at this point. Officials tell us that home was unoccupied, and thankfully there have been no injuries. We're going to continue to bring you updates online as well as we get them. Our reporter Layla Cox has been there on the scene speaking with the fire officials there as well, and we had images there. So again, we're going to continue to get updates as they become available. Again, that fire for the most part, it appears to be put out at this moment, but we'll check back in later.
All right, in the meantime, we'll get a final check here on traffic and weather as we, head to the end of the show here. Marta, you've been very busy watching the roads this morning.
Yeah, road conditions are certainly icy and snowy, and we've got some wind out there as well. You can see Independence Boulevard in Virginia Beach, bottom right corner, definitely snow covered, so prepare for that and prepare for wind across the region.
All right, Craig, what's the latest on this storm?
All right, so most of the snow is moving out. Taylor, we've been keeping a close eye to things. I think later this afternoon, we're actually going to see some peaks of sunshine.
We will, thankfully, but unfortunately today the sunshine is not going to help to melt any of what we see.
Not with highs in the mid to upper 20s. And again, those wind chills still bitterly cold right now. We're talking temperatures feeling like they're in the low single digits.
Yeah, and then we head to tonight, and we're still going to be below freezing. That puts us at over 100 hours of below freezing temperatures from the course of the past few days. It's been a struggle.
And we're gonna remind folks again, you may see some frozen surfaces, some areas of water. Stay off that. That ice is not safe to venture out on. We saw Jeremiah earlier down with that pool at one of the hotels she was at near the Outer Banks. You could literally just poke holes in the ice. It looked like it was frozen, but you could see how easily it could crack. So very important. Assume that the ice, if you do see some, it is not safe to go on. Do not go on or near that ice. Temperatures a little bit warmer tomorrow, Tuesday. 43, it's going to feel like summertime.
Maybe to you. I will still remember that it's the winter time.
Exactly.
Because it gets right back into the 30s after that.
It will be cool. Now, we do have another chance for a few isolated showers. And if you look at the temperatures on Wednesday, we should be above freezing for most of the day. If a few of those showers linger into the evening, especially some of the northern areas, it wouldn't shock me to see a little bit of light mix or maybe a few snowflakes flying across northern parts of the area Wednesday evening. It may also move out before it gets cold enough. So we'll be watching that for you. But at this point, we're going to enjoy some less stressful forecasting for the next couple of days.
All right, and a quick check of our outages before we head out here. In Hampton Roads, Dominion reporting about 400 people without power at this hour. In North Carolina, about 1,450 residents between Dare and Currituck counties waking up in the dark.
Okay, thank you so much for sticking with us here on 13 News Now Daybreak as we've been on air covering the storm with all of our team. Again, another shout out to all of the crews out there who are making sure that we stay safe. We appreciate you so much. Have a really great and safe rest of your morning.